afternoon. Alright. So, recently, I had a live stream on women's health. And in that live stream, we kind of talked about women's issues, women's health issues. A lot of things that are the cause of a lot of women issues are feminine hygiene. And I had talked that I have shared my cloth menstrual pad stash throughout my Facebook cloth diaper group, but I had never shared on YouTube because there are so many videos out there that, you know, I just kind of left it. But I did have an interest. Someone asked me to share my stash. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to give you some tips to get started. Of course, you can buy them outright, but they are very easy to make. So I'm going to give you very frugal, the simplest things. And my cloth diaper people know where I'm going with this, but so easy to do. If you have girls that are coming of age, teach them to sew. This is what you should, you know, start with. After they do maybe a basic pillow. But very important to me. I tend to, I wouldn't say put more emphasis on the feminine hygiene, but I do. More so than food. The toxins that are in cloth pads, even organic, we're not completely sure if that cotton is, you know, organic or not, but the toxins being released, you know, you're releasing toxins from your body. Also, within a disposable pad or tampon, the toxins being released back into your body, fibroids, menstrual cramps, heavy bleeding, just what do you call it, vaginal irritation, yeast infections, all sorts of things. And we know about the cancers, just all sorts of things. I have been a cloth pad user for the duration of my cycle. I was a very early 10-year-old, but I did not start out with cloth. My mother, on the other hand, did. They weren't as fancy. They basically used rags. She grew up in the country. They used rags. She did move to the city late teenage, like high school years, and transitioned to disposable. But they basically just use rags. And, you know, that's how they grew up, you know, pretty much before, you know, modern disposable. Everybody used rags. We know, you know, the stories of the very early days, the twigs and leaves that they would roll up, and everybody was very much more healthy back then. It makes sense. My deal was I suffered from very heavy menstrual cramps pretty much from the start. And I had my cycle down to a pinpoint because it was always between 3 and 4 in the morning whenever it would come, and I would not be going to school that day. It was so bad. And then finally my mom made a concoction for me, a tea, just basically nutmeg and water and hot tea, and it does not taste good. Put about a tablespoon. It doesn't taste good, but it made me pretty much throw up, and I felt a lot better. But anywho, I had a lot of irritation due to disposable. I have not experienced a yeast infection, knock on wood, but I was always very irritated, and it's to the point where I thought I was, well, I guess it's rare, but allergic, actually allergic to the menstrual cycle. Everybody knows the pH in the cycle changes. The blood pH changes, and it causes, from what I hear, like a yeast infection can be very itchy and irritating. That's what it feels like, just rip roar, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I used, what I could, and then started to just kind of make some things, and that's what I have done ever since. So I also introduced them to my girls. But enough on that. Let me get to some goods. All right. Where to start? I know there's probably going to be some questions on laundry. They're not as difficult as it seems, just like cloth diapers. You just basically store them and wash them, and I'm going to get back into that. Hopefully I don't forget, but I'm going to get back into that in just a minute. All right, so here are, let me start with some basic. All right, here's some basic. If you can hand sew, okay, you don't have to own a sewing machine. You can hand sew, okay. If you are crafty, even if you're not crafty, you can go to any fabric store and get remnants. I should have started with the other basic, but you can get remnants. All you need is some material. You can make it pretty if you want to. And these are very old. They're old. A lot of them have kept, but I'm going to show you the ones that are worn through pretty much, but still usable. Just faded. You can get a variety of fabric. This one is fleece. Fleece is very good. Very good. There's an inner to here. This one has no wings. I do prefer the wings, but it is long. You can get them in varying lengths. So, or make them in varying lengths. So you'll see that. And I'll get into what you can put in them in a few minutes, once I kind of go through them. But basically, you can see the fleece. There's another one like that. Yeah, fleece is very nice. They don't stain. They just, wash out. Fleece holds a lot. We do a lot with cloth diapers and fleece. So, very good. Comfortable. And these are you can easily add wings, a little wing to them and stuff like that. I'll show you another kind. This is teen pad, panty liner, and you see it has wings and snaps. If you don't know how to, simple. If you don't even know how, if you don't own a snap press, you can also add Velcro. Velcro is like $1 anywhere, and it sticks. You can do a pin, but if you're crafty, you can even do a button. A button is really easy. So I would recommend just a simple button. Just, you're going to make a buttonhole, stitch it so it won't unravel, and sew your button on. That's another quick way to do it. With this one, you can see it has a little channel there. Here's another one. But basically panty liners. Here's another one, and here's a very simple wing that you can do. Just another little piece of fabric. Just add it to each side, just to add the little snaps. Let me show you the back of this one. This one has PUL. Those of you that cloth diaper know. Some of them you can make, or you can buy with PUL, hidden PUL inside. It's a polyurethane, basically waterproof, or water resistant. I won't say waterproof, but yeah, sometimes it's a layer hidden inside, and you might get fleece or cotton or hemp or something on the over top of this, and you won't see it. But of course, these are really good to know how to do. but simple, you know. It's a hand stitching. It's not hard at all. And here's another one. And then here's another one. This one is wider. It's a little bit longer. As opposed to panty liner. So basically they come from probably about 4 inches to 14 inches. And another one. And add another one like that. Alright. I already went through those. And I have some very basic. What these are, hemp. These are hemp. And hemp is very absorbent, highly absorbent. Good for using as doublers. I know nighttime is a big issue, or you know, heavy flow, or just going out. A lot of times I would just use a doubler if I felt like I needed extra. You could put it on top of the pad, or you can put it underneath. Now I really recommend using a pad with wings. If you're using one of these, I mean, you don't have to. I don't always, but you might feel uncomfortable that it might slip or fall in the toilet or whatever. I don't know. But in any case, I just keep a backup of these, and I'm ready. Show you another deal. All right. Also hemp, but I topped them. So sometimes I would do this and have my pad. Now sometimes if maybe like that third day it's lightened up, but not as, you know, it's still you're getting gushers. Okay, I know that's a big one. A lot of women are wearing pads that are too short. That causes the you know, the back leakage, and the, if it's a front gusher. What I do is I will stagger like this. Stagger the pad, so I have extra protection in the back and in the front, so it becomes longer. And then there's, you know, double, triple, whatever thickness in the middle, so it works. And also for overnight, when I do an overnight pad, sometimes if I will show you the overnight ones, but if you don't have overnight, you can always take, you know, I think these are probably 8 inches, maybe 9 inches, I'm not sure, but you can stagger. So that works perfectly. And you have to, within your cycle, whatever fabric you choose or material or whichever, you know, you buy, you have to just kind of gauge and see, you know, what works. You know, obviously during your cycle, your flow is going to change, so you figure out what works. You know, you may have to change every couple of hours, which is normal, but you will know, you know, if you're saturating a pad, you need a little more protection, is what I'm trying to say, a little less. So I'll show you this little stack just to, but remnants, basic remnants. That's all it is. It's remnants. And see, here's one that I can restitch it, but it's not that bad. It's just I think it caught in the washer one time. But this is what the inner looks like, and this is fleece, like a sweatshirt. Okay, so you have fleece hemp. And then we have like polar fleece. That's what the other ones were. They were polar fleece. Polar fleece, like I said, is really good because it just rinses right out. So here's that look like it. And here's another one that just has superficial holes, but still, you know, very usable. And I can't remember how many layers I made this. I think this is like 4 layers. So yeah, once it's put together, and goodness, I didn't realize there were so many of them. Here are a couple more. This is gosh, what is this material? It's cotton. It's very soft. I cannot remember the fabric. It almost feels like velvet. But these are very, very old. This is probably my first little deal. You can see that one's worn, and then this one is worn through, but same thing, just superficial. Still usable. And there is no waterproofing in here, but it's about 3-4 layers. Alright, I have a little pouch. You want to travel with your stuff, you put it in a little pouch, and I'm going to show you another deal as well, but you want something small. So here you go. Now, basic, and I know I'm missing some because, yeah. This is a really quick hand stitch project. You basically just need a cover. This is called a I think an envelope pad, because what you do is just make a little pouch, and then there's some snaps, and it's gonna wrap over, and they're meant to just take out the padding, so you customize your absorbency. And so basically it's a pad inside of a little pouch. And so they're made to just take this part out and use the other part, but I don't use them like that. And I don't even use these that much. Really light days. But yeah, if you're crafty like that, you can do something like this. And again, I'm going to give you the ways to kind of do it, but this is another simple fix. An empty one. I don't know where the rest of my inserts are. They're probably with the diaper somewhere, because that tends to happen. Alright, these are my dot ones. So now this one is an overnight one. I love this one. I actually purchased this, I think all 3 of those from somebody, but I love this. It is very soft. It's very well made. Like I said, it's very long, and I use it for overnight. So this one is 14 inches. I just like the design. I cannot remember who, and I haven't seen them anymore. But it's been a while, and it's very thick inside, and this thing just holds a lot. So I'm going to show you some more overnights that I can tell you where I got them from. Alright, and they're well worn. Little B Creations, that's where this tag comes from. And I will try to leave the link. If I forget, let me know. But she makes some nice pads. If you're I recommend starting with Little B Creations. You can customize the material and things like that. And it's usually like 3 pads, somewhere about $14-15. If you have no clue, you've never used cloth, I recommend starting with her. Not something that, I mean, you can make your own, but just like with cloth diapers, I recommend starting with a good, reputable diaper. That way you won't get turned off. Okay, it's not that they're bad, but if you have something and you don't really know how to sew, and kind of how this works, it will make a difference. But these are really good, and I've had these probably about 6 years. And I have so many, I don't need any more. And I know there are plenty of, you can watch plenty of videos, and they just are obsessed with them. I'm more obsessed with the diapers and the pads, but a cute little one. And then here's one. This is lavender, and you can see this one. These are much shorter than what I'm getting ready to show you. These are overnight pads. These are postpartum as well. That's what I meant to say. Postpartum. Okay, postpartum. So yes, and at one point postpartum, I think I bought these postpartum after the twins or right before. I had to double with the hemp underneath because it was that heavy, and I would have to change in the middle of the night into another overnight. So I have really just the 3 overnights, but they work because I tend to wash mine usually at the end of the day. You don't have to. Some people wait to the end of their cycle. I just don't like to wait that long. Combat stains and things like that, and yeah. But I tend to wash mine at least every day, every other day on my cycle, and that way I always have my overnights. But usually by the second night, I don't have to use an overnight. So, or after the second night. But there's another one from Little B Creations. Laura is her name, and I know a lot of people use Laura. Very good quality, quick turnarounds. Here is another company, Pink Daisy. Okay, these are very similar. I have another one. These are a little pricey. I think maybe $15 for a set of 3, but also a good, you know, if you're just trying to try them out just to see. I'll let you see that. They have the PUL. Okay. And they have the little channeling, and just really soft and comfortable, and you know, they move with you. You can see this one does have some peeling on it, so yeah. And I don't use, honestly, I don't use these as much. I'm more, you know, over here and over here and over there. But I do have these. I wanted to try them out, and I don't know what that is on there. It's not that kind of stain, but you get your washing instructions. These are no bleach. Hemp, that's another thing. Do not bleach hemp, and do not bleach bamboo. You can use some OxyClean. Don't bleach them. And obviously, if you bleach your these, they're gonna be bleach stained. But you do want to, and I can't think of this term again. I said it. We do it for cloth diapers. Strip. You want to strip. So Pink Daisy machine wash. You rinse or soak in cold water. Hand or machine wash, line dry. No fabric softener. That's the big one. No fabric softener. Pads, diapers, no fabric softener, because it will mess up the absorbency. No dryer sheets, none of that. So make sure you don't wash them with your towels. You can wash them with towels, but if you've used fabric softener in your towels, which you shouldn't, because it messes up your absorbency as well, yeah, you don't want to do that. So Pink Daisy, and as you can see, these are long. These are like Laura's, so same size. I think you can get them shorter. There are other companies. Charlie Banana also sells cloth diapers, and they also do this style pad. So you can also, you know, buy straight up, or you can just get the fabric and make them. Boo Boo BB is also a cloth diaper company, and I use the diapers first before I use the pads. I have a love-hate with these. I just, you know, they're bamboo. Bamboo is supposed to whiten as you use it. You do not bleach them. It will damage the fibers. But here's what one's looking like. And they are of varying degrees. You see some peeling. And I think these are really, you can probably find like, I want to say 12 or 8 for probably $16. So very good to start off with. The only thing is there's only one length, and I want to say these are either 10 or 8 inches. So they're very light, that's the thing, but bamboo holds a lot, so don't let the lightness fool you. And you see, I haven't even done this, but this is what you do to store them. Let me see, I did that with one hand. For travel, and you stick them in your little pouch so they fold down. Okay. You know, for a dirty storage, I leave them open, but you know, or unless you're out. If you're out, you want to, you probably want to close them up because you have to stick them in your bag. But yeah, they all fold up. Even, you know, even if they don't have the wing on them, you can still kind of, you know, roll them like that within themselves. So there's that. And you see purple and all that jazz. Alright, here are some of my, I'm getting down to the wire. I love these. Very easy to use, and they're very faded because they're very old. But just get you some basic little, you know, nice little remnant fabric and go to town. There, this is all cotton, and my pad starts kind of like right here, in here. So I use these a lot. It's Pink Panther. So it's fun to find remnant. Here is an owl print, cat print, and these I really use often. I need some more of these because I like the fleece, but the fleece. So they're really thin. I made them really thin, but like I said, fleece, I know fleece holds a lot, so I didn't have to worry about really putting too much in them. And I'm talking heavy to medium flow, you know, the panty liner type, or the these are what you use, or the Pink Daisy maybe for medium to light flow, but I can use all of these on heavy flow days. And again, if I have to add more, I will just use a little doubler. See how that folds down on bottom, you know. But I don't have any problem with any leaks unless I just had a serious gusher issue and it just, you know, it just happened. All right, storage, cloth diapers, we use wet bags. Okay, so this is just a basic wet bag. I forgot, I see the B, I think it's Bum Essentials. No, it's not Bum Essentials. It's, I can't think of the name of this one. But you can sew this. This has the PUL inside and a zipper. Okay. This one happens to be Bum Essentials. Okay. Wet dry bags are good for, or wet bags are good for swimsuits and things like that. So if you do that, you kind of know what this is. This one happens to be reversible. There's a drawstring. Okay. And I use them for diapers as well, and just kind of hang them on a off the changing table or whatever. In the bathroom, I can hang it on the doorknob. Now I have my Planet Wise bags, and these were for cloth diapers. This one I actually sent one of the girls for daycare, but yeah. And it's old because I remember doing the haul on this about 4 years ago. You get your lining, and it just, you know, it holds everything in. Okay, and I'm going to explain this in just a minute. And then I have another Planet Wise. This one is a wet dry bag. Okay, and so I use this one. I just hang this one. This one has the hang tab in the bathroom, and then I put it in, hang it from my closet when they're not in use. But this is the dry part, and this is the wet part. So I typically don't store, because I have so many bags, I don't have to store it wet and dry. But if you only had one. Now what you do is, when you have your cycle, you finish, you can use the, if many of you are postpartum or you're getting ready to be postpartum, save the little pink wash bin from the hospital. That's a good one. I save them. Rinse your pads. You're going to see all of that cold water, cold. When you first wash them in the first cycle, cold water. You want a tiny amount of detergent, tiny, okay? You want to wash a good amount of pads together because you want the agitation, but you also want more water. You need to watch the water when you wash them. You need to make sure that the soap is rinsing out. That's what I was talking about, stripping the diapers. You can use some OxyClean, but you need to check during that rinse a couple of cycles just to get rid of the the soap, and that means you over soap them. So it's a learning curve, just like with diapers. It's a learning curve. When I had to strip them, you know, like I say, be very careful. I didn't want to strip all of them at the same time, which is what took me a little bit to get the video, because I had to strip. And you might not even realize that you have to strip them, but wash them without soap and just see. Same thing with clothes. Wash them without soap and see, because you 9 times out of 10 are over soaping your things. Obviously, if they smell when you take them out of the washer before you put them in the dryer, smell them. They should smell fresh, and we do this with the diapers. If you smell anything, rewash them. Okay? Start with the water. Don't add the soap, because that means you might have to strip them. You might have too much soap in them, and if you're adding soap on top of soap, that's what messes up the absorbency. So, but you rinse them out in the bathtub or in the sink if you want, or in your little basin. First, run it under water, the cold water. That'll get rid of a lot, and you'll get to see, you know, just how much these pads actually absorb. Okay, and they're, like I said, comfortable. They feel like panty, you know, very comfortable. Rinse them out until the water runs clean. You're gonna have to, you know, wring them so that everything comes out, and then you just toss them in your little bag until you're ready to wash them. Obviously, if you have stains, you want to try to, I mean, people use toothbrushes, just all sorts of things. The OxyClean, the sun, just like cloth diapers, we lay our things out in the sun, and the sun will take away stains. Okay, so just be mindful. If you have, you know, some like the pink daisy ones, you can bleach those. If you are a bleach user or something similar to bleach other than OxyClean, even if it's a natural bleach, you can bleach them. If it's a color safe, you can bleach them. If you're not opposed to using bleach, I do recommend bleach in my cloth diapers as well as the pads every now and then, just to get rid of the gunk, because if you're constantly using, if you don't have as many, for one, you're going to be using them over and over. But I do recommend it because it just kind of keeps them nice. Even though these are very, very old, they're still nice. Let me see. Okay, let me show you something before I end. All right, a lot of you have these, okay? You have these from your babies, the birth cloths. These are the Gerber brand that you can find at Target. What's that other place I'm not going to name? Babies R Us, Toys R Us, and they say they don't work as cloth diapers. Yes, they do. Okay, they do work. You have to, yeah. But you know what? When you're finished, you can use these as pads. And this is what I started with in the very beginning, using as a cloth pad, okay? Before I figured out how to, you know, sew anything. So, with this, you have a 3-layer. You might not need it as long, okay? So you can cut it. You might get away with cutting it in half. If you're crafty, sew it down here. You know, you got a pad. However you want to do it. You might just need to strip it, okay? So you may get, depending on how you strip it, if you only need a little bit of, you know, that's 1, 2, 3. So either way, you probably can get 3. You're just going to have, you know, the lightness here. But once you top it like these, see how that starts right there? You're going to have that fabric. So the protection is really in the center where you need it. Okay? And if you have to use the whole thing as a pad, so be it. That's fine. Once you put, you know, put it in the material, it'll flatten out. Yes. So, again, fabric store. When you go to fabric store, look for the dollar remnants. When you go to the thrift store, look for these. Look for fleece, sweatshirts, towels. You're looking for fabric for making pads. The thrift store, Goodwill, whatever, Salvation Army, best place to find just fabric just to play with. So that's, you know, that's just about as cheap as you can get. There are also the this kind, you can see the cotton is a little bit heavier in these diapers, but they're also Gerber. These are the Gerber premiums. Okay, you get about 12 of these probably for like $12 to $16. Same thing, you can use these for cloth diapers. Okay, and this one, I can tell you, this thing is like, probably, this is one of my originals. That's why it's so dull. So it's 20 plus years old now. But yeah, and you know, with these you can bleach them, you can do whatever you want with them, just however you want to do it. If you're around the house and you just really don't care, then you know, you can just do this and put the thing on and don't worry about it. It's not, you know, it is what it is. But you know, also what I was talking about, the envelope style, you can get, you know, this simple and just make your little pocket and slip your little thing inside, and there you go. Let me show you an actual diaper. Okay, this is an actual cloth diaper that has been upcycled somewhat. Okay, but look, see, let me show you the diaper. This is a premium cloth diaper, pre-fold. Okay, so this is what you want inside your pads. This is what you want inside of here. Okay, so that's all that is. See how simple that is? And you don't, you know, you want some little fabric, some pretty fabric over the top. You just put that on there, and you can make your little wings with some extra piece of this. You know, it doesn't have to be this. It can be the real simple kind. Remember I said, if you cannot sew, do the little tab kind. Because the thing is, even with the with cloth, they're not like disposable. If you have to, if you're one that has to use wings, you can, with cloth, the distribution is not messy like that. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, it's just easier to wear if they have wings on them, but it's not bad if you don't have the wings. Okay, so you basically want something like this, and you see how it would be like that. So you know, you play with these things however you want. And this is a diaper I made, I don't know, probably like a dozen of these. Really simple. So it doesn't have to be anything elaborate or fancy. Remnants. And it's got some cloth diaper, some pre-fold inside. These, I love these. These are newborn. The fleece. And we put a little cover on them. But, or not. So, I don't know what that is. But yeah, this is what you get. And this one is just, happens to be organic. That's why it's a little browner. Because it's organic cotton. But no, I have not used any of my cloth diaper stash for my pads because I make my own. But I'm saying, if you're done having babies and you have all these diapers left, this is the way to go. Always check the thrift store. I always see pre-folds in the thrift store. Always. And like I say, if you have to go to Target or somewhere and go get some, it's cheap. It's very cheap fix. Very, you know, very well worth it to go ahead and invest in cloth. Save yourself all sorts of trauma. You know, the menstrual cycle. Shark Week is already bad enough as it is. Okay, we don't need all the extra fluff. Okay, so
Can I wear this?
yeah, you can wear that.
Because I like it.
You like it? Yeah. Stick your bow. There you go. So, share if you have any more questions. You know, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to explain anything. And I'm just showing you how you can fold down. This happens to be a preemie, so this is the shortest it's gonna get with this one. And let me just kind of see. So it's 14 inches. Okay, so however you want to do this, you can cut this, you got 3. You got an overnight, and then you got just your regular day pad right there. So with a dozen pre-folds, you can make a whole stash. How many do I recommend? I don't, you know, when you use cloth pads, your cycle tends to shorten by a day or 2. I would recommend having at least a dozen because you might go through 6 a day. You know, at least have a dozen on hand to start when you are considering making or purchasing. Have at least a dozen to start. You know, I don't know how many this is. You can go back and count. This is probably 50 or 60 of them. But, and of course I don't use all these during the cycle. But, yeah, it works. How many, let's see, maybe I go through a day, like I say, probably 6. You don't have to change them every time you go to the bathroom. Just, you know, whenever. And for me, still, because of the irritation issue, I'm still feeling it, but it's not as pronounced. The pH level, I use cider vinegar just to kind of cleanse in a Perry bottle when I do go to the restroom to, you know, to cleanse. But it's not nearly as bad as if I were using a disposable menstrual pad or a tampon. And I know there are sponges and menstrual cups and things like that, but I still think cloth is best. You know, and that's just me. It's my opinion. Same thing with the diapers. We have no rashes, no any of that. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully this was helpful. Check out Little B Creations. She is also on she may have, I know she's on eBay. You can go directly to the site, Little B Creations, and like I said, I'll leave the link, and I'll probably just edit it in. This one is Pink Daisy. You can check on Facebook. Little B, I think, may be on Etsy if you're an Etsy person, but Facebook groups, there's a variety, and you just have to, you know, if you're not a sewer, if you don't want to attempt, there's a variety of places that you can get them, but they should not be very costly. Some people can sell them. Beware of China. Okay, that's all I can say. If you're on eBay, beware of China. Yeah. But you just, you know, once you learn, like I say, once you learn what type of fabric you like, what works best, that's what you decide what you want to use, you know, during your cycle. Every cycle is different. I don't know, I tend to use the same ones most of the time, just on different days. But yeah, you know what you like best. Like I said, I like these a lot, because they're just so comfortable and so light. These, you are going to feel a little bit of a bulk, but you're going to sleep, so it really doesn't matter. Or if you're just, you know, heavy during the day, you know, postpartum, you're going to feel a little bit of material down there because it is thick, but you need it to do its job. So yeah, and this one looks like it's getting a little bit of a service also. I'm probably going to get a couple more of these, and she does sell remnants, so you can find remnants cheap. Like a lot of times if you're on eBay, you search cloth menstrual pads, people will have like seconds, and not, well, sometimes remnants, but seconds where they've, you know, misstitched or something's a little wonky, the wings might not line up or whatever. A lot of times those are still doable, you know, so don't, you know, everybody starts out making, you know, imperfections, and they still work. But like I said, it's a good project to do with your girls. Teach them how to, you know, get their stash going. And yeah, so I have held you all long enough. I will see you in the comments. Please leave me your comments. Let me know if this was helpful to you, and if there's anything else along the lines that